Welcome back, friends. So in the previous video we created the functionality to create a folder. So we created the folder under the root folder only. So this one is a root folder, so that you can say that this one is a dashboard. So here when user will click on create folder and enter the folder name, so that is like test folder 2. Just click on create folder, so it will say folder created successfully. And now you can see that we have the 3 folders here. So in the previous video we created this one folder, that is new folder, and I have created one new, so that is test folder 2, this one, and then I have created test folder also previously. So I have created the test folder here. Now you can see that in the Redux we have the 2 folders because I have created 2 folders simultaneously. So you can see that its parent is also root and its parent is also root. So it is under the root folder. So today in this video what we are going to do. So in this video we are going to fetch all the folders and we are going to create a functionality so that we can access that folder, we can open that folder. So this thing we are going to create in this video, and in the next video we are going to create a functionality to create subfolders. Means whenever user will click on any other folder, so like I'm under the root folder and I'm clicking on new folder 2, so I can create the folder under new folder 2, and whenever user will click on this another folder, so user can create the folder here. So this type of thing we are going to create here. So now without wasting any time, let's get into it and let's fetch all the files and let's make a functionality so that user can open the particular folder. So now let's do that. So we are under the coding section here. Now first of all we will set up the action types and action creators. So here we will be having the action type export const add folders. Just save this. Now we will move to the reducers, and here we will create a new case for adding folders. Here we will add the user folders, that will be just action dot payload. Just save this, and then we are going to create action creators for the file folders. So here I have already created one action creator to add the folders here. So we will so this is one for the add folder, and this action is for adding all the folders. Now we are going to create one action creator, so to get all the folders. And here for that we need the user ID, so that's why we are using this one. And for that we are going to use fire. So fire dot firestore. So here we will be getting the collection, and when, so let me just save this. So we have some errors, so that's why it is not getting saved. So let me make it readable. First of all let me complete it. So here we are fetching the documents from the collection folders from the Firestore, and there using we have the condition like where user ID is equals to user ID. So you can see here we have the user ID, so this field we are matching. So if this user ID is equals to the given user ID, so this given user ID in the parameters, so we are going to get the document. So here we have all the documents and we are dispatching this. So now we have all the documents here. Just save this. And one more thing we have to do here. So here what is the error? Yeah, this is the error. And here we have to create one more type here. So let's create a type for the loading. So for the loading we have to create a type, and same we have to create the case in the reducer. So loading will depend upon the payload. Now we are going to create the action and action creator for this one also. So let's go there. So now in the get folder, first of all we are going to set the loading as true, and after fetching all the folders we are going to set loading as a false. Just save this. So now let's move to the dashboard here. So we will move to the dashboard page, and here under the use effect we are going to send these here. So let's do that. So here I'm going to check here. So see that we have this use effect here. So we have if condition, if not logged in, we are going to navigate. So let's add the else condition also. So in the else condition, we are going to fetch these folders here. So here, just write. So here, let's do one thing here. Let's create another use effect. And it will run when it is loading. So here what we are going to do, so I'm going to change this to a multiple use selector thing. So here we are going to use this. So first of all will be is logged in, and here we are going to use shallow equal also. So shallow equal, we have imported the shallow equal successfully. So now here for is loading we are also going to do. So state dot file folders is loading, and then we have this const here. So here what we are going to do here, so let me remove everything. So just save this for now. Now here we will check if not loading, if loading is not there, then here first of all we have to create a dispatch here. So let's create that dispatch. So here I'm going to create. So use dispatch. So let's import it. So we have the use dispatch here. So now we can use this dispatch to call our action creator. So that will be get folders. So get folders. But here we need one thing. So what is that thing here? So you can see that is logged in also is there. So here first of all we will check if the user is logged in as well as loading is not there. So if user is logged in and loading is not there, so then only we are going to fetch the data. Here we will write is logged in, and also we need dispatch here. So because these with the help of these variables our use effect will be dependent. So here now we need the user ID as well. So here we will fetch the user ID from Redux. So let's do that. So here user ID will be state.auth.user.id. UID. So now we will pass the user ID here. Just save this. So now how we will get to know about this one. So here we have some errors. So actually we have fetched this use dispatch. Use dispatch is already there in the React Redux. So now let's go to the dashboard, and here in the Redux you can see that we have this add folders, we have set loading, but it is running many times. So see that we have the folders, and here you can see that is loading is always true. So here what I'm going to do is loading I'm going to do as a false, and here is loading is logged in will be false. So here just we check if user ID is present here. So user ID, and just save this, and now let's test it. Let me reload this, go to dashboard, and here just test this. So you can see that the set loading is still getting there. So now if I will remove this dispatch from here, so let's see if this is working or not. Let's click on dashboard. So it is still there. You can see that our is loading is getting true, false, false, true. So this thing we don't want. So this thing we don't want. So how we can solve this error here? So let's remove the is loading here. So when our loading is changed, click on dashboard, and then when I'm changing here, getting here, now you can see that we don't have any errors. So now it is just running at good time. So here we will see if loading is there. So this was the error that previously I was having. So here we will write if is loading is there, then only we are going to dispatch it, otherwise we are not going to dispatch it. So because always is loading will be true whenever there is a loading. So whenever there is not any loading, so is loading will be false. So that's why here we need only if is loading is there. So now we are under the dashboard. Now here you can see so by default I think is loading is false. So here we will write is loading as true by default. So is loading as true. Just save this. Now let's click on dashboard, and here in the Redux you can see that we have set loading and add folders. Only one time it is running. So now let's show the created folders and created files in the root one. So as we haven't created any files, we haven't added the created file functionality, but we will do for the created folders only. And we have to also add the double clickable function. So like when user will double click on created folder, so this should move to this folder here, this particular folder, so that we in the next video we can utilize this to enhance our create folder functionality, so that user can create the subfolders under a folder. So now let's move forward to the coding section. So here what I'm going to do here. So first of all we have to show that. So for that I'm going to the dashboard. So in the dashboard we have this create folder here. So actually we don't need the create folder. So we will go to the home component. Under the home component we have these show items here. So here what I'm going to do here. So first of all we are going to use Redux here. So in the Redux we will check is loading. So is loading we will check, and we will be using the use selector. So here we have the use selector here, and here we also need the shallow equal, and we have imported that successfully here. So here we will check if is loading is there, and then we are going to get the user files. So user folders we have to get. So user files will remain constant like this, but we need the user folders first. So here we have the user folders. So user folders, just save this. So here first of all we will check if is loading is there. So there will be a h1 tag. So h1 will be there. So here that will be for the display1. Display1 will be class there, and my will be 5, my will be 5, and text center will be there, and here we will write loading. So when loading is not there, then we are going to show this one. So we are going to show these items here. So when there is not any loading. So now let me refresh this. So let's see if this is working or not. So when I'm going to click on dashboard, see that we are getting loading, and now in the loading we have these static created folders here. So see that after the loading of the folders, we have is loading false, and we have now user folders. So now we can give the data to a created folders here. So as you can see that we have this show items dynamic here. So here we have to pass something. So here instead of folders, I'm going to pass user folders first. So let's see how it is working. So now I have passed the user folders instead of folders here. So you can see that we have the errors like user folders is not defined. So it is user folders. So we have some typo errors. So now you can see that still we have the errors because this user folder is having a object. So this is a object of arrays. So now let's go to the show items, and here instead of this item I'm going to write if item is there. So then I'm going to type there. So first of all let me go here to this one show items for the file. So I'm going to comment that. So I'm going to comment the created files because I don't want that like if there should be errors, because you can see that in the file array we have just strings. So that's why this will be there. So let's do one thing here. So here I will add the name. So I will add the object as a name here. So name, so just this I will add. So just save this. So we have this for files. So here we will be having the item name. Just save this. So now you can see that we have the test folder 2, and also a new folder. So now let's create a new folder here. So here when I will try to create a new folder, whenever we click on create folder, you can see that folder is already present, and it is not also created here. So this folder is not created here. So now here let's create new folder 2. So new folder 2, let's click on create folder. So here you can see that folder created successfully, and we have new folder 2 here. So this is very simple. So we haven't implemented the Reactosify, so that we will do later. Don't worry about that. So now we have done this successfully. So here let's make this one more good. And first of all let's make it clickable. So before making it clickable, so now you can see that this one is having the user folders. So in the user folder is there. So this one is having, we have this one as folders and this one as files. So as this is reusable, so how we can say that this is a folder or this is a file, because our object will be same for both. So here what we can do, we can pass the type here. So type will be, so first of all its type is let it be folder, and here we are going to pass the type as file here. So type as file. Just save this. So now let's go to the show items here. So here we are under the show items. So here we will extract the type prop here, and then here we will use font awesome to mention the icon also. So here we will check if type is equals to folder. So here we will be having the font awesome icon, and the icon will be of the folder. So icon will be fa folder here. So here let's import the icon, import fa folder. So we have imported the fa folder icon here. So let's add that fa folder, just this one. Otherwise we will be having the icon as fa file. So there will be icon of fa file alt, fa file alt. Just save this. Now you can see the changes here. So let's go here. So you can see the changes. We have this file and we have this as a folder here. So now let's add the size here. So size, so let the size will be 5x. So you can see that this is 5x size, so that is very good. And here we will be having the size as 5x. Let's try 4x size. So I think 4x size will be enough. Yeah, 4x size is also enough here. And here what I'm going to do, so here let's implement here deflex, and flex will be colon. Flex will be colon here. Now you can see that we have this very good. And here instead of colmd2, let's add colmd1, and here we will be adding the padding here. So padding 5 will be very good. So colmd1 is not good, so colmd2 will be enough. And we have the padding 0. So padding y as 3. So you can see that we are having very good padding now. So let's add some margin here at the bottom. So here I will write margin so here we will adding the style here. So style margin bottom. So let's add the class name here. So class name we will add, and it will be margin bottom to 3. Save this. Now you can see that we have this margin very good. So margin bottom 3 is looking awesome. So now we have set up the UI here. So now let's add the functionality. So whenever user will double click here, so user will go to that folder. So here you can see that when the user is getting to that folder, so this select functionality, so that we will do later in the next video. So here we are going to see that whenever user is under that folder, so here we have the dashboard folder, and this one is a folder name, folder ID. So this one we are going to create here. So now without wasting any time, let's get into it. So here first of all what I'm going to do, so first of all I'm going to set up the route here. So let's set up the route. So for that, first of all I'm going to app.jsx. So here you can see that we have the dashboard route, but we want the nested routing here. So that's why here I will write slash and star. So this means that it will be having the nested route. So without this you will not get any nested routes, means nested route will not work in the React.DOM version 6. So now let's go to the dashboard page. So under the dashboard page, first of all, this home component you are seeing here. So here we will set up the routes. So that will be the nested routes. So we have the routes here, and then now we will set up the route here. So route for the home component. So now I will just save this. So you will see here, so here are some errors. So let's see. So the error is route is not defined. So actually we have to import the route here. So I'm importing the route. You can see that routes and use navigate imported successfully. So now you can see that it is perfect here. We can go to home, dashboard. So now what we are going to do here, now we are going to create a new route. So that is this one. Whenever user is double clicking on any folder, so here we have dashboard / folder and this folder ID here. So this route we have. So what we will do here, so here what I'm going to do, so you can see that here we have the user ID as well. So when I'm going here and I'm going to the folder, sorry, not here, to the original one, in the file and folder we have the user folders, and you can see that we have this data and we have document ID. So how this document ID is coming, so that is just simple. Just go to the action creator. So under the action creator you can see that whenever we are fetching the folder, so we are fetching the folders here. So here we are getting the data. So we are mapping through the folders and then we are getting the data with folder.data function, and we are getting document ID, and just this map function is returning us the object and we are getting document ID. So same I have updated for the create folder. So for the create folder I have added, you can see that previously we will be having the folder data. Previously we had this folder data and now we have this folder ID as well. Just using folder.id you can access the folder ID. Just create the object and pass it in the payload of the action, Redux action. So now let's move forward here. So here let's create a new route. So that route will be for route path, it will be for folder / folder ID. Folder ID will be there and we will be having the element that is folder component. So now let's add the folder component here. So you can see that we have the dashboard components, and in the dashboard components we are going to create folder component folder here, and then here folder component file. So folder component .jsx, and let's create that. We don't need the React. So here we will add the folder ID. So how we can get the folder ID from the params? So now you can see that, so these are our params here. So these are the params. So this is a folder route, and under that we have the param as folder ID. So we have to fetch the value of this param. So first of all, let's import the folder component. We have imported the folder component successfully. Now we have to get the folder ID value, param value under this. So for that we are going to use param. So here we are going to use params from react.dom, and then here we are going to extract the folder ID from the use params. Now we will get the folder ID, but you can see that this folder is not getting here. So when I'm double clicking here, so nothing is happening. This is because we haven't added the on double click handler, event handler. So for that, let's go to the show items, and here we are going to apply the on double click. So on double click, here we will be having the function, so that we will create here. So that will be handle click. So handle double click, and here we are going to pass the ID. So we are going to pass the folder ID, so that will be item.doc ID. So here when I have added the doc ID here, so here you have to change that to the item.data.name. So because our whole data is under the data object, so that is under the item. So now here we are going to create that. So let's create handle double click. So we have the handle double click, and here we will be having the item ID here. So now we have to navigate first. So for that we are going to use navigate. Use navigate, and we have to import the use navigate from desktop to DOM. So we have imported use navigate from desktop to DOM. So now here we will check if the type is folder or not. So if the type is folder, then we are going to navigate to the dashboard folder and folder ID. Else just we are going to alert, because we are not going to handle the file. So file clicked. So file clicked. So just we are going to mention this. So whenever if it will be a file. So now here first of all I will select a file. So let's select it, double click it. So here we are getting file clicked. So now let's do for the folder. So I'm double clicking the folder. So now you can see that we have the folder component, and this is a dash, this one is there for the URL, and you can see that we have this folder component and like this. So till now this folder is empty because we haven't handled the subfolders, creation of the subfolders. So that we will do in the next video, in the upcoming video. And one more thing is pending. So here we have to add the breadcrumbs we have to add, so that user can navigate through the breadcrumbs only. So now for today this is enough. If you have any queries, please comment in comment section. I will definitely respond to that. Now the one thing is also more there. So that thing I forgot. So here you can see that our current folder is root. So we have to create the actions and action creator for this. In the reducer we have to create the case for this, so that whenever we are adding going to another folder, see that we are going to a new folder. So this is a folder ID. So now for that we have to mention the folder ID in that. So that we will do in the next video. So we will complete our create folder structure in the next video, and then we will move forward the creation of the file. And then same procedure we will do: creation of the file, fetching of the file. After that another thing like we have to do creation of the file in the subfolder, and then opening the created file, means there will be a text editor like that. And then same procedure for the upload file, and then our project, we will fix the bugs, project will be completed. So if you like this video, please like it, subscribe it and share it. So at last, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.